What's up? So here's literally the core belief that if you do not understand, you are going to completely destroy your own potential. The moment that I understood this, literally around this time 3 years ago, is the moment that I went from being a socially anxious, video game addicted, porn addicted, weed addicted, zero discipline having, dropout who was out of shape, to now being in a really good place in my life. I will tell you the belief in a bit, but I'll tell you the story of how I discovered this. So I was in a very bad place at that moment. I literally felt depressed for the first time in my life, actually, and going through this very tough cycle of feeling powerless, of having the feeling that I had no purpose, no potential really. My dad sent me this keynote of a high performance coach who, he thought was something that I could just do alongside the fitness coaching that I was already doing. Like, I was out of shape because I was just eating so much, and I was kind of trying to be as strong as I could because that was kind of my passion at the moment. And one of the few things that kept me going at that moment. And this keynote speech was fascinating to me because he went through the same stuff that I went through as a kid, like, being abused, being alone, things of this nature. And then he flipped that around through a certain set of principles, and he became extremely successful in a short period of time. There's 3 key traits that he attributes to that, which I'll also give you in a second. But the core belief that enabled him to change, and that enabled me to also change, and that he gave me throughout this keynote speech, was I can put things into place in real life, and I can create tangible results, and I can create the life that I want. It is literally a process, like a mathematical formula. It's like an exact law of, if you keep growing, if you keep becoming a better person, you become more competent, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve because you increase your power. Up until that point, I always thought that I was in a pinball machine. I thought, things happen outside of our control. We just need to do what everybody else says. We need to, just get lucky if we want to be successful. And, perhaps we will be, perhaps we will not be. This is all complete bullshit. And the only people that think this way are the people that will never attain anything. So the core belief, to circle back, is I have full, complete, utter, absolute control over my life. I can literally create anything that I want to create. And the more you can ingrain this belief, the more powerful you will be, the more powerful your mind will be, and the more actions you're going to take, and the more confidence you're going to have. As long as you do not have this belief, you're always going to have things happen outside of your control. And important with this as well is the level of ownership, right? So most people blame everything outside of their control. Pretty successful people, they take ownership over, okay, I might not control this, but I can control this, and so I'll take these actions instead. The ultra successful people that I know and that I've read about, that I've researched, and fucking thousands of hours that I've gone into this and just working with some of these people as well, the core belief at that level is I control everything around me. I control my external reality. Everything that I see in the present is a result of my previous thoughts, habits, and actions. Anything that someone did to me that I do not like is a result of me enabling them to hurt me in that way, right? It is complete ownership of not only your internal reality, but also your external reality. Once we take full ownership, the next step is to start to work on our fears. Most people are completely stifled by their fears, and they're completely unaware of it. So you want to get really clear on, okay, all of the actions that I'm taking, all of the actions that I'm not taking, why am I not taking them? Why should I be taking them? And what is the underlying mechanisms that are holding me back? And the 4-step process for that is you have to firstly identify what you're afraid of. Then you have to understand, okay, what is this? Where is this coming from? What are the benefits? Because if there wasn't a benefit, it wouldn't exist. And then also eliminating the fear by taking action once we are as clear on it as we're going to get, because at some point we just have to take the leap and take the actions. Last place is to just replace the fear with faith. And this is, whatever way you want to do that, you can link this to a greater thing. You can transcend yourself in that way. I don't really, for example, care about making these videos anymore, caring about, you know, how I'm perceived, because I just spread my love to the world, and if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Very basic. Just tying yourself to something that is greater than you. That also makes it very easy to start to get out of bad habits, because I assume if you're anything like most people, you probably just wake up whenever you, right, like go to the gym, but you miss sometimes, your diet is probably relatively garbage. All of these things that, you know, just hold you back from living the best life, from having the greatest impact that you can be having. Some additional tools to actually start to break outside of that, since we're talking about it anyways. So first of all, it's actually creating a big vision of, here's where I'm going, here's what I want to be working on, here's the future that I'm going to be realizing. And the key to that is also to start living it already. It's not some faraway thing, it is part of you now. Time just hasn't caught up yet. Second thing is surrounding yourself with better people. If you are around toxic people that are holding you back, just cut them off. It's better to be alone. I promise you, it might be lonely for a time, but if you can go through that phase, you can start to level up, you can start to become such a competent person, then you can start to meet new people who are on the same wavelength as you. And so persisting through that is very important. And there is an outside of that. Like, if you are scared of that, right? I've seen the other end of that. Next thing is to just start with very small habits. And so making small things non-negotiable, doesn't matter how small it is, you just have to make some things non-negotiable. Because if you can compound that 1% at a time, I've done this for 3 years, right? And along the way, I've still sabotaged myself plenty of times. I just break, I build one thing, then I build another thing, and now I basically have 10 core habits that fuel me every single day, that give me so much power to create the life that I want every single day. And I wouldn't even want to take anything away from them. People say that restriction is suffering. People think that restriction is suffering. This is some bullshit. Restriction is freedom, because it allows you to be free from all the vices, from all of the clutter in your mind, from negotiating with yourself, from all of this suffering that you're creating by not living in alignment with the person that you know you can be. I think these are our main points. Complete ramble. I hope this is helpful. If you have any specific questions, if you have any specific video topics, let me know, and I'll get them answered. Going to be making a lot of this stuff. So wish you a good day.